this is easy.
What is up, GOAT World? It's me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video. This past weekend, we had GGP Detroit go down, and it was an absolute banger, as they always often are. And today, I got a special treat with you guys. I got the tournament report that I'm going to be doing for the top 8 deck lists from that event, but I got an even more special treat with me today in studio. I have none other than the winner of that event, MarcusLol, aka Marcus Carice, aka your GFC champion, and now your GGP Detroit winner. Marcus, how does it feel to be the winner of GOAT Grand Prix Detroit? And tell us about yourself and your dueling prowess real quick.
Yeah, so my name is Marcus on Discord, MarcusLol. Prior to that, Lol Marcus. Been dueling for a while, but yeah, the tournament was great. I think me and Dale expected one of us to do very well at this event, so I'm really happy to see both of us make finals. Both needed our invites. Obviously, I'm even happier that I ended up winning. Otherwise, I've been playing normal Yu-Gi-Oh for a while now. I've been traveling maybe the last 7-8 years. Got second place at a YCS, third place at a YCS, fourth place at a YCS.
Damn, dude,
pretty much everything.
Now you just win a YCS. Now you need to win a YCS, dude. Third, fourth, second. But you got first in Detroit, though. That's all that really matters.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe a YCS would be nicer, but yeah. So other than that, the tournament was awesome. Had lots of fun. I don't get to play real life goats too often, so this was a nice change of pace.
Absolutely. All right, so Marcus, what we're going to do here today, congratulations again on your win, but I have the top 8 decks. I have you as the winner. We're going to go through these top 8 decks, and I want you to tell the people what you think about them. I'll tell them what we think about them, and we can just do that. You ready? You ready to knock it out? All right, sounds like fun. All right, so let's do it. Okay, so coming on in at number 8, we have a duelist that goes by the name of Wesley Fowler playing the Chaos Turbo deck with some spicy tech inclusion. You know me, I love me some spice. I don't know how you as a competitive frontline player feels about the spice, but I look over this Turbo deck, I see card destruction, I see Magic Drain, I see main deck mind control. What is your initial thoughts when you look at this build and what Wesley can do to make it better?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's pretty standard through and through. I think Reaper is becoming more and more standard as the format progresses, and I know some people like it. Card D, obviously, I'm a huge fan of. Creature Swap is, Creature Swap's actually it's pretty good against Warrior. I'm not a huge fan of it in mirrors, and then obviously Magic Drain is, Magic Drain. Not a huge fan of that. And,
okay,
so.
I understand. I mean, but I watched this video. He has some good points about it, man. Just having like some extra protection for your sets and maybe getting people to pay that cost. People may not want to pay. I'm a fan, but I don't know in a deck like this if that's going to be the right card. In the side deck, you got a Cyber Jar, you got the Control Patch, and you got this Horn of Heaven. What are we doing with this Horn of Heaven in the double?
I don't want to know what he's doing. Let him cook. I mean, I guess best case scenario is you're attributing a Sangan to negate their BLS, but. Other than that, it's a little shaky for me.
It might pair well with those scapegoat tokens too, but I don't know. But it's cool though, man. I think it's a really cool looking card, and shout out to Wesley for putting that thing together and getting the top place with it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he got some good dubs with that Horn of Heaven. I would like to see or hear some effects of it. All right, so moving on to another top 8 deck, we have the duelist that goes by Undefined, aka Matthew, playing the GOAT Control strategy. I love this deck. This deck kind of speaks to me. I'm a GOAT Control player. I know you have a history playing GOAT Control. Tell me about this deck and the effectiveness of Zaborg in this metagame. Main deck, Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. Did you play Matthew Undefined in this tournament?
I did. I think I played him on stream, maybe in the semis before. In top 8 in the semis, I played him. I think I 2-0 to him. But I think this deck is actually pretty well positioned right now. I'm not sure about Saku's. I think the Borg is becoming more and more popular, which I'm a huge fan of. I think that card was severely underrated for a long time. Aeronite has just I think when I played the GFC however many years ago, I played Aeronite, but it was just the Borg is just better in every aspect.
I believe a lot of Italian duelists kind of use this. I think other duelists have started to pick up this ratio of the 2 meta, 2 swap, 3 goats. I think that's something that can be built upon. The 1 jar greed is also quite hilarious. The side deck seems pretty standard as well for this GOAT Control deck, keeping those trap dust shooting aside. I don't hate that either, but I think this deck is solid. This is a deck that I think I'm gonna try to play. I think it's really cool. It's very interesting. GOAT Control is one of my favorite decks, and I think this deck can handle a lot of matchups very well, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I'm just a bigger fan of 2 goats. I'm not a huge fan of 3 goats, especially when you're playing 2 of all the other stuff, because all the other stuff is kind of ass if you don't have goats, and feel like I would just want to be maxing meta if I'm going to be maxing goat. And obviously goat without the other stuff is also kind of ass. So but other than that, I think the deck does what it's supposed to do. I know Splevin had a lot of good results with the deck, and his is something similar. Yeah, I think it's a good deck.
Hell yeah. Okay, shout out Undefined. Shout out Matt, and we'll see you at another GGP. Hopefully. This duelist was almost thinking about not going, showed up last minute and got some great success. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah, you do well.
moving on to another top 8 deck. We have another legendary duelist, Chris Pateo, taking the top cut, playing another Chaos Turbo deck in his own unique way, maintaining the triple Jar of Greed, triple Wing Blast trap lineup in this Chaos Turbo deck. Everything else very standard. Triple Kaiku, triple Kinetic in the side. Tell me about this Chaos Turbo deck. And also answer the question one final time. Are you a Wing Blast guy or are you a Regeki Break guy, and why?
Main deck Regeki Break 100%. I will always be siding Wing Blast. Main deck it's Regeki Break, no questions asked.
But you gotta give me the why. Why are you pro Regeki Break over Wing Blast? It just does more.
I mean, I think the Regeki Break has better applications with goat tokens, and I mean, I think it was against Chris when I played him, where I drew upstart for turn and I snatch stealed his BLS and he wing blasted the snatch back, and then I just saved the upstart and then use it again. So I mean,
Dang.
I think that may be reason enough for him
to trade because he's been on triple Wing Blast. He's already won 2 GGPs. He's been on triple Wing Blast for a long time, triple Jar for an even longer time. So I mean, I guess you got to play the cards you like, but everything else seems pretty standard. What do you think about this side deck? Triple Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, triple Kinetic Soldier.
I don't like it at all. Once you get to my list, you'll see I only side maybe 2 monsters because I want my monster count to stay at 20 no matter what happens. So I'm only swapping out 1 monster for 1 monster every time. If you're going this sideboard, you're probably stuck siding out a lot of monsters for a lot of non-monsters, or vice versa. I don't think I ever want to be stuck, and I don't think I really want Kinetic Soldier at any point in the game against the Warrior deck. But if he's doing well, he's doing well. I'm not a huge fan of 3 Kaikus and Mirrors. I think I played Chris twice at the event, and so he did well. So I'm glad to see him top.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Chris Pateo. Shout out to Safari Zone. Shout out to the 519 representing the Windsor city in Canada. Huge Canadian invasion coming on into this tournament. But then we got another top 8. We have Rob Cedar. This duelist doing very well. Kind of influenced by those Windsor 519 gang and associates. Said he did a lot of testing with them, and it's kind of evident in a lot of the choices that he made in this deck. Still sticking with the Wing Blast as well. Main deck Mind Control. What do you think about this deck? I mean, it's pretty similar to the previous deck we just saw. Triple Trap Does Shoot still being in the main, a single Solemn Judgment, and that wacky Desert Sunlight in the side deck. What do you think about Desert Sunlight?
I'm a huge fan of Desert Sunlight. I'm a massive fan of that card. Yeah, I think it's really good when you go first. It's something that I played. Dale hosted a tournament in Toronto maybe a couple years ago, and I played this Chaos Burn deck with a bunch of Book of Tayus and Desert Sunlights and Morphing Jar, and then like the 9 burn cards. I'm a fan of the card. I think it's good. Rob is my guy. I will soon get him on Regeki Break over Wing Blast.
Nice.
Otherwise the deck. It's a pretty standard deck. I think it's good. I think this is a good deck.
Pretty solid deck. Still on triple Trap Does Shoot. I think that's pretty solid. You can beat a lot of people with just on the back of Trap Does Shoot alone. But again,
easily,
huge shout out to Rob Cedar. Rob Cedar was also in the chat, kind of giving us that ground truth. Really an asset, helping out with that stream. And for all of you out here watching, if you want to see this entire event, all of it was streamed, and the finals is also streamed on this very Go Format dueling channel. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and check it out. All right, moving on to the top 4. We got the Burn player coming on in. Nathan Wolf bringing out the Burn, playing this freaking Panda Burn deck with the double freaking Barrel Behind the Door and the bad reaction to Samuchi. Tell me about this deck, and also tell me about your thoughts of Burn. And a lot of duelists who reach out to the channel or reach out on the Discord, they have a lot of issues playing against the Burn strategy. So you as a champion level player, as a winner of this tournament, tell the people about some of the techniques you use when you're playing against Burn, and some of the things you can do to kind of beat Burn, and about this deck in particular.
Yeah, so I mean, I really don't think Burn is a good deck whatsoever. Nothing against the people who use it. I think the deck is just not good. So I actually played this guy the last round of Swiss. I was paired down to him. I was undefeated, and he was X1. And so I had told Rob that before the rounds got announced, I told him I probably wasn't going to give the last person the win because I wanted to be undefeated throughout the entire tournament. But then I played against this Burn guy, and I determined that I will give him the win. I conceded to him, so that I could have him in Top Cut, because I want to play against more Burn players in Top Cut, because I'm really confident in my ability to beat Burn just with my deck's own engine without even side decking. So I'm really confident in the Burn deck. I don't think this deck is that great, but I know a lot of people are big believers in the deck. So
That's what I meant.
hold
So
it against them.
you're saying your confidence, and I'm gonna get more into Nathan's deck. But what are some of the? I mean, I guess we can do a longer form video at some other time. But just go into
Yeah.
the tactics and the techniques and the procedures you use to play against Burn. Maybe like reserving your resources, ensuring what understanding what they're trying to do, and then playing accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously making sure you don't get Ojama locked is important. Making sure you leave room for Sork on board to start banishing tokens. Small things like that. Trying not to keep too many cards if you're attacking into koalas. Sometimes it's even just as something as simple as Thunder Dragon for Thunder Dragon, and then pitch that so you only have one Thunder Dragon in hand. A bunch of really small things that, while they may not seem important at the time, but if you're conserving yourself 400, 800 life points for every activation of a card, that adds up over 3 or 4 burn cards.
Okay. And this deck in particular, I was listening to Nathan's interview, and he said that in Cincinnati, Goat Grand Prix Cincinnati, this deck actually won a very similar deck like this, and he came back in and brought it back for another top. So clearly there's something there, and maybe based on what you're saying, maybe people don't have the experience of playing against this matchup, and it causes a lot of strife. And I think that could have something to do with it. But also, Burn players do have levels. Maybe he's a very talented player, and he can understand what you're trying to do, and that's the point of the entire game. Also, this duelist elected to play Bad Reaction to Samuchi, which is just which is absolutely hilarious. Saying that it actually helped out and got some quality wins in this tournament.
I saw that. Yep, I watched that live against AJT. That was it was pretty funny. It's the first time I've seen that card resolved in GOAT. So
and for a win, that would blow my damn mind. I'm not gonna lie. I quit. I scoop. All right, but huge shout out to Nathan Wolf. I think it's a cool deck. Keep playing Burn out there. If you're into playing Burn, go ahead and do it. Maybe you can be the next great Burn player. All right, moving on. Moving on, we have our reigning player of the year. We have AJT BLS playing the Chaos Turbo strategy in a very similar fashion how he's been doing. He's got that main deck Spirit Reaper. He's got the Wing Blast. He's got the one Solemn. He's got the double Dust Shoot, 2 Kaikus, Jinzo Call in the side deck. All right, so tell me about, not necessarily about this deck. Tell me about this player. Have you had a lot of opportunities to play against this duelist? Have you been seeing what he's doing? What do you think about this duelist in specifically? And what do you think about the strategy that they laid out for this tournament?
Yeah, I don't think I've actually played him in tournament ever.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't think so. I may have ran into him on Dueling Book, like rated a couple times, but I don't think we've actually ever played.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll be able to correct me, but I don't think so. Obviously he Player of the Year, massive accomplishment to him. That being said, I wasn't playing that year, so I'm coming for you.
Shots fired, dude. Boom, dude.
No. He's good. Everyone in the community knows he's good. So no one's gonna hold that against him. I know he's a huge supporter of Wing Blast. Me and him joke all the time about Wing Blast versus Shurigeki Break. So it's fun. But other than that, I think his deck is borderline where I would want it to be. I think it's good. I think it's a great deck. I know he's a huge fan of Call Jinzo on the side. I used to do that a long time ago. To me it just doesn't come up enough against enough matchups to warrant, but I understand why he does it.
Huge shout out to AJT BLS. This duelist goes to GOAT Grand Prix all the time. He's very well traveled and gets on there and gets a lot of success over and over again. So we'll see if he can continue to go back-to-back Player of the Year, or maybe make it to the top cut of the Player of the Year this year. So we'll see. All right.
Yeah.
Going on to second place, we have another legendary duelist, Dale Bolito, coming back in. It felt so good to see Dale on the screen holding those cards in his hand, getting his game on IRL.
Yeah, it was fun.
And he was playing this cool deck. Would you call this like an aggro return deck?
It's a pile. I told him it as he was telling me about the deck in the hotel room. I told him this is nothing more than a pile, but we were laughing about it the night before. I go, please Dale, just like, here's my deck list. I gave him the sheet. I said, here, just like build whatever you need. And he goes, yeah, I probably will, but I also kind of want to use this deck. And we're just laughing about it, saying how he's gonna go 0-2 and whatever the case is. Then he started off 0-1. I was laughing at him. He was laughing, and then the next round he lost game 1 as I walked past him. I go, Dale, it's time's ticking. And he was about to lose game 2, and he was about to be knocked out, and then he won, ended up doing very, very well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, this deck is very reminiscent of what Dingo Sig did for the World Championship. Very similar kind of
Yeah,
style. It's hard to counter. It's hard to play against a deck like this. And I
yeah,
mean, I don't know how I don't know how to side against it. I don't know what to do, how to prepare for a strategy like this. I think it's really clean. It's really solid. In the side deck, there was an issue with the
yeah,
side. I don't know if you can give us some more illuminating information from that, from the scene, from the venue, but Dale only had 13 cards in the side deck. So
yeah.
unfortunately, he's had to play with only 13 cards in the side deck.
Yeah, so I think he was looking for roulette barrel the morning of, couldn't find it. So I think he had written his deck list with the assumption that he was able to get the roulette barrel and something else, and he wasn't able to find them. So he crossed those out and then replaced them, but had forgotten to write the two new ones in. And I think that's what happened. And it was, what's crazy is that it got caught in top 8 against Burn. So he auto goes down one game against Burn, which is probably the worst matchup to go 0-1 again. And he still manages to win, that was cool.
That was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But so I maybe we can get Dale here to come by here at some point. But what are those two cards you think he would put in that spot if he just had to put something? Roulette barrel for real? Roulette barrel and Dustin Needle?
It was for sure roulette barrel.
Okay.
100% it was roulette barrel, and I think it was roulette barrel Tsukiyomi.
Okay.
I think those are the two cards that he wanted to have in there. But either there's no way he didn't have a Tsukiyomi on. I don't know what happened with the last one, but I know for sure it was Tsukiyomi or roulette barrel, and I'm pretty sure it's Tsukiyomi.
Okay. But I like it. I still like the deck. I think it's really solid.
It quite honestly performed a lot better than I expected it to. I truthfully expect him to go to. So the fact that I played him twice really late in the tournament blew my mind.
And you've been having Dale's number the past couple of little matchups, man.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad because again, Dale's my guy. I want him at Worlds. He deserves to be at Worlds. But you know, he's running into the wrong guy, wrong time. You know what I mean?
That's messed up. I think he'll get there.
Yeah.
I think he still has time.
Yeah,
I think Dale will get there.
Yeah. If anyone can get there, it's Dale. So
okay,
he'll be good.
Absolutely. Okay, and now coming in at first place, none other than our guest right here, Marcus Carice, aka Marcus LOL, aka Smurf account. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
All right.
That's right. Yeah.
So now go ahead and take your victory lap, man. Go ahead and run around and let people know what it is, why you're the best on the planet, and why you're the best to ever do it playing the Chaos Turbo strategy.
I don't. I've had a lot of success recently with this deck, like, a lot. And I don't think I'm really doing a whole lot of things different than other people. You know, sometimes you draw better, but I mean, ultimately, if you play 100 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh, everyone's gonna draw good sometimes. Sometimes they're caught on stream. Sometimes they're caught on dueling book replays. But I don't know. I think the deck there's nothing crazy about the deck I use. My decks almost always stay the exact same. The entirety of War League, my deck stayed the same. The entirety of the playoffs, my deck virtually stayed the same. You know, I think the only big difference I have in my deck versus everyone else is I'm a firm believer of 2 Spy.
Yeah, talk to us about that. I'm one of those. I'm one of your disbelievers right here. You got a disbeliever in me right across from me right now.
Yeah, you never want to see 2 Spy in your opening hand first and foremost. You know, you don't always want to. Spy is good to open, but you also don't want to clog your hand with a lot of summons and a lot of sets, and that could be current player mentality of mine. Where you know you want to have X amount of normal summons per turn. To me, it was just a numbers game of I want to have 2 flips every opening hand. So I think that, and it just made room for all the cards that I want to play. Yeah, obviously it can come up where you mind control a spy, you summon your own spy out, and then you have 1 left in deck. That's probably the only case where you might want 3rd. But I don't. There's no mind control in my main deck, and typically spies are pretty easy to read in the mirror. So I try not to even mind control the spies, anyways.
But I've just seen Spy go so crazy with Tsukiyomi and just walling out the warriors and just getting one to stick, man. And I've seen it just beat the hell out of people. It's just, to me, I think it's just one of the best cards in the format. But again,
it absolutely is. It probably is the best summon of the format. But it makes me, when you have Spy in your hand, I feel like sometimes it forces you to play into a specific play style for that, for the next couple turns. And you'll see games where I play sometimes super passive, but then and Dale plays the exact same way where sometimes you don't want to play passive, you want to play super aggressive. Sometimes I find Spy just forces your hand to play a specific, very passive way, or you're forced to swing with both, and it's kind of awkward. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about your side deck here? I see you got the Regeki Breaks in the main deck, but you're electing to put the Phoenix Wing Wind Blast in the side deck along with Sakuretsu Armor and Solemn Judgment. Is that just something to kind of throw your opponent off, or you just want different cards for different matchups? Tell us about that and why you elected to build it this way, and when do you bring those cards in? As much as you're willing to share. I know the Go Format World Championship is literally right around the corner. As much as you're willing to share.
I don't keep secrets when it comes to this. Like that's why I keep the same deck list pretty much every tournament I go to. Wing Blast I want Wing Blast against every Metamorphosis deck. I would rather have Wing Blast than Regeki Break. And obviously it has overlap between burn matchups. Additional copies of discard traps it's awesome to have. I didn't play MST I think all regular season. And I had a 5th discard trap, but James Arc required me to play MST in my deck list recently, so it had to make its way in, and then it just stayed there because I was told that Detroit has a lot of burn players, so it just stayed. But
okay,
typically MST is nowhere to be found in my deck list.
And I got one more question on Marcus Theory. I got one more question on Marcus Theory. While we're talking about side decking, you say that you put in your trap dust shoot first, no matter what. Tell us about that. What the hell is that all about? I need to know about this. No matter what, I gotta know.
No matter. I won't lose the game if I open trap dust shoot and a reasonably playable hand. That's why.
That's why. So even versus Warriors, even versus set hands, you're doing it. You're running the risk. You're running the number. If you're going first.
Yeah, if I'm going first, that card stay in my deck. I won't lose if I see your hand and have a reasonably playable hand. Yeah.
That's bold, man. You're bold. You're bold.
Yeah. I've always been a firm believer that dust shoot is like the most broken card in the game, in any format. But when you're playing a format like this, when you can get perfect knowledge for the first couple turns of the game, you get put too far ahead in my mind.
Okay, so that's why it's worth the risk.
That's Marcus Theory, baby.
Marcus Theory. I'm writing it down. Write that down, kids. Marcus Theory. If you gotta be listen before you try something like that. You need to be bold. Okay, you gotta be bold and daring. But I think that's pretty cool. But anything else you want to say, Marcus, about this deck, about the event? I want to hear about your tournament experience. We didn't get a chance to be there again. I wasn't there, but you were there. How were the vibes? How was everything out there?
It was fun. We had the Swiss portion of the event ran insanely smooth. So huge shout outs to the TO for that. Like it was moving. It was moving and grooving, let me tell you. 45 minutes, pairings were up for the next round. It was awesome. So 5 o'clock we finished Swiss, and by 7 o'clock me and Dale had played the winners bracket finals. So the tournament had the potential to be over by 7.
Yeah.
Because it ended up being me and Dale anyways, but just 3 hours later and then a couple days later.
Yeah.
So the double limb top cut was it was time consuming. It was longer than it needed to be, but the Theo asked for our experience. He asked for any input. So I think he realized that next time he probably wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I'm super happy that he asked for input because he's learning as he goes as well, right? So
right.
It's good to get those players' input, but other than that, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So you will be seeing me at more GGPs in the future.
Nice, and hopefully I see you all out there at these GOAT Grand Prix in the future. If you can go to one in 1 year, if one is nearby to you, you should definitely do what you can to make the trip. But Marcus, that's all I have, man. Do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap this bad boy up and shut it on off until next time?
So huge shout outs. Again, shout outs to Dale. He's been putting up with my shit for a long time. I hope he gets his invite. I have a couple of other friends in that invitational trying to get their invites as well. So hopefully those guys do well. Shout out to Bongo Boys. OD beat us in the finals, so we'll be there to run it back next year. Shout out my friends who playtest with me. I guess I don't know. Yeah. Shout out to JDZ. This is awesome. I'm glad to be on here.
Hell yeah.
And yeah.
And thanks for coming by, man. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this longer form discussion and you enjoyed what Marcus had to say. And make sure you sit around the Discord, get into the comment section, leave some comments, tell them congratulations. And if you agree or disagree with some of the Marcus theory as we're going forward. The Go Format World Championship will be taking place October the 21st. Marcus will be there. I'll be there. You guys should all be there too. Last chance qualifiers are coming up very soon as well. So the opportunities are running out. We got PWCQ taking place October the 8th. So I hope I see you all out there in the GOAT world getting your duel on. But that's all I have. As always, I'm JDZ. I play Ghost. To the next time, shout out to all the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Hey.